our message affirmation today, very straightforward. Thank you, God. And I'm sure we've all been around somebody in some circumstance where, some things happened, a medical test came back positive, and, a lot of times we hear people off the cuff say, oh, thank God. And, they're not really necessarily taking that time to really say, thank you, God. That's more like, gosh darn, that was a good thing that happened. But so we're talking about actually taking the time as you go through your day and as you go through life for every circumstance and every situation, for every event that happens, the mundane or the great, make sure that we take the time to say, thank you, God. And this came about, I was reading the new Unity magazine came this week, and the article in the front of the magazine was a writer who was writing about the experience of remembering to say, thank you, God, and how very, very important that is in life. And the other element about that is being present in the moment. I think, especially in these modern times of ours, we all get so very busy, and we go through so many steps getting to the end result that we're going for, so we might, we do the laundry, we iron the clothes, we put them away, we do everything so we can get dressed and go to work to earn that paycheck. And we do all these things, and a lot of times, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, how many things do we do in life that we just sort of blindly walk through and we're just doing without giving much thought to it? And so the author of this article was talking about all these things in life to be present in the moment and to be aware of even the simplest joys. I have a friend who I talk to sometimes. He gets the greatest pleasure from ironing. For that person, this is a relatively mundane, boring chore. I know I don't care to iron. I send everything out to the cleaners. But this is just an example to get yourself present in the moment. And this author goes on to speak about how he became more aware of the importance of stopping along the way in every element of your day for even the most mundane things when he met a person who did thank God for every situation, every circumstance. If the car would start, thank you, God. When the sun rose in the morning, thank you, God. Well, after a brief time of knowing this person, he came to realize that he had, through this positive affirmation, this positive way of life, gotten over a really advanced stage of cancer. And he attributed it all to his thanking God for every way along the step. Thank you, God. And this is a very important thing. And I know that I find myself doing this a lot. So, I'm glad that I'm kind of in step with the way that the author is talking about this fellow. But I know that we can certainly do that a lot more, especially because we do get busy in the day. And, there's so many things that happen that we don't think about. We open the refrigerator every day and it works. When it doesn't work, we fly through the ceiling because, oh my gosh, what happened to that appliance? Why isn't it working? But we take for granted the simple thing that, I open the refrigerator, everything inside is cold, I close it, life is great. And this is a really, simple, mundane thing, but we have to realize that, there's a strong power and presence behind making these things happen, and not just Southern California Edison, but because we know when it doesn't work, how we feel that, there's some evilness out there. And especially, I'm sure that we've all had those days where, everything is against you. The refrigerator stopped working. You stepped in mud. Then the car wouldn't start, and you can't find your auto club card. And, everything piles up, and you just think, oh, my gosh, what did I do wrong to, upset the powers that be today? So when everything goes right, do we remember always to stop and say, thank you, God, and appreciate it? Because I think a lot of times we get these things, these negative series of things that happen, and that's just the universe saying to you, you know what? You forgot about me. Let's get back in step here. And, remember to be grateful, because like anybody, if you help somebody out or you're doing something, you're working with people, you like to at least hear thank you once in a while. And so, of course, it's good to remember, thank you, God. A quote from this article is that we may be absent from the universe at times because we get involved in our day-to-day lives or we get distracted. We may be absent from the universe, but the universe is never absent from us. So we may forget and disconnect with God. We may get so busy with our lives or, upsets or challenges that are going on that maybe take us away. But you know what? Just like the universe, God is never disconnected from us. We may disconnect from God, but He's never disconnected from us. So it's important to be aware of that and always remember to thank God. Thank you, God, for all these good things and all these blessings in every situation. And then the other thing that this author had pointed out, which is really wonderful because we know that we talk about this all the time, is the fact that the thoughts held in mind and your words vocalized do indeed have power to change our lives. So, and they have power both ways. So if you harbor negative thoughts because you're upset and you mutter or say out, negative words or, oh, that's never going to work, this is never going to happen. Well, you know what? That's where you're going to be. Whereas you keep those positive centered thoughts, and those are the words you vocalize, and those are the thoughts you keep in mind, and it does change your life for the good, for the positive, every day in every way. We need to remember to be thankful to God, and like I said, to be present in every moment, and even the little things. Be present in that moment, enjoy it. And oftentimes it can be something as simple, as you're walking to the car, a lot of us, you're passing maybe your garden or a plant that you've been taking care of, to be present in that moment and stop and enjoy it and realize what a blessing that is. And, you may be going to another day at the office that's exactly the same as the other, or another appointment that's just the same as the other, and you may walk through that process not thinking about it because it's such a mundane, ordinary experience. But it's good to stop and be present in the moment and enjoy all the elements along the way, your beautiful rose bush or lilac bush or whatever you have out. The fact that you got in the car and it did start. The fact that, you went down the road and there were no obstacles and everything was fine. You got there. You went, the doctor gave you a wonderful diagnosis. There's no illness in you. And then you come back home. So there's a lot of moments along the way to be aware of and be present of and be thanking God for. So the question this week, as you're going through your week, ask yourself, do I slow down and look and listen to what is present right now? Are you just rushing through all your day-to-day activities because there are these mundane activities that you just have to do to get to the end of the week so that you can charge up a little over the weekend just to start all over again? Or are you stopping along the way? Do you stop, look, and listen to what is in the present right now and enjoy it? And to remember to continue to thank God always, every day, in every circumstance, in every situation, because there's so much that we have to be grateful for that, as I say, in this modern world, I think we overlook so many things. We have so many wonderful conveniences, and of course with that comes busier, more harried lives. But there's so much wonderful stuff along the way. So stop and be present in the moment and thank God for this. And the good news is that we can be in the present every single moment, but by being thankful in every moment for all things, looking forward to all experiences, both simple and grand, with gratitude and great expectation of being in the present for every event and being thankful to God in every circumstance and every situation. So as you go out this week, remember to be present in those situations that you might otherwise find mundane and boring and just the typical day. And remember to be thankful to God and look around all the wonderful things about you. You know what? The sun rose, you got up, the car started, and you know what? The traffic, well, maybe there was traffic there, but it's fine because you know what? Everybody else's car ran, started that day and got off. And so as much as you might think it's a nuisance to wait in the traffic, there's always something to be thankful for. So be present in every circumstance and every situation. Be in the present and be thankful for it. Definitely, these are great tools that we know as New Thought students that take us to these lives of great happiness and great health and great prosperity. So as you go forth this week, remember, thank you, God. And not just the off-the-cuff, thank God, but the real, honest, sincere thanks. Thank you, God, for every circumstance and every situation that comes along. And we'll definitely be living these great lives that we know that we're intended to live.